Alright, so now we're going to do the bodice. Again, we want to prep our fabric, our muslin, by folding salvage to salvage. Making sure our fabric is on grain. Okay, again, we only care about what's happening at the salvage. Doesn't really matter what's happening here at our torn edges. And we can grab our pattern pieces. Here's our bodice, front and back. I'm going to flip this around so that the fold is towards me because my front pattern piece is cut on fold. And let's just see how this goes. So that's great. That'll work fine. Alright, so let's go ahead and line up our center front with the fold in our fabric. And pin that on. So that's right on the fold, top and bottom. There we go. There's the front, all set to go. And now we'll do the back. I'll flip this around towards me. And I can lay out my back. I'm going to have to measure because this is not on fold, so I'll measure off my salvage to grain line. So 8, let's see, actually that's 3, and I'll do 8.5. Come down here and do the same number. There's 3. And 8.5. Okay. So on grain, we can go ahead and pin it. Alright, there we are. We're all pinned on. We can go ahead and cut these out now. Remember to keep your scissors flat on the table. Okay, our back is cut out. Let's go ahead and cut all the stitching lines where they meet the cut edge, and then any other important notches that we have on here, such as our directional notches in our armhole, and then we also have, our dart notches, so dart leg, center fold line of dart. Okay, so we'll do that. And back where we started. Okay, let's go ahead and put that aside and finish cutting out the front. There we go. And let's go ahead and notch all the information here. So dart information, and then of course, wherever our stitching lines touch the cut edge, notch there. Directional notch in the armhole. We have a notch at the shoulder where the back dart will line up with that notch. Back shoulder dart. Okay, and then very important again, because we don't have a seam at center front, we're going to notch center front at the neckline and at the waist. Okay, so now we're ready to start transferring other information from our pattern to our sloper. or excuse me, to our muslin. All right, so we're going to do our darts, and in this case we're going to do apex as well. So let's go ahead, put this information on. All right, so let me unpin some of this for now. Just going to mark right here the notch that my bust line is going to, because there's a few notches there. I don't want to get confused. All right, so I'm going to mark my darts tips in blue, as I've been doing. And apex I'll need to transfer to the other side, but I'll do that in green for now. Again, I'll only need that on one side. There's my apex here. And then these are my other dart tips. Okay, it's all the darts have been marked on the wrong side. Also going to mark right at center front where my bust line is, just in case, and I can transfer that to the other side too if I need to. Alright, there's apex, apex. Okay, so let's open this up and transfer our balance lines on here. First of all, I have my center front. So right here, and right here. Connect those two notches, the one at the neckline and the one at the waist. Right center front. Okay. And now I need to transfer my bust line. Okay, a couple things to remember. This bust line here isn't straight, it's curved. Okay. So we're going to need to square out from our center front to apex. Okay. And then from apex it will curve up into the intersection of armhole and side seam. We also want to make sure that our bust line is on the same side that we marked the hip line on the skirt. So let me quickly grab the skirt front and we'll double check and make sure that they're on the same side. Alright, here's the skirt front. If I just unpin this, I can open it up real quick, just the top part. And here's my hip line right here, here's center front. You can see that marked a little bit in hip line. Okay, so I want to make sure I mark the bust line on my front bodice on the same side as this hip line. So it will be marked on this side. Okay, I'll just put a mark here. Alright, so perfect. Let's pin this back in. Okay. So let's go ahead and mark out this bust line. I marked my apex on this side. Let's see if I can see through my fabric a little bit. It's right there. That's apex. Okay. And then I also marked bust line on the other side of this. Right here. Let's see if I can see where that is. I'll just put a pin through. Transfer that. So it's right there. Double check, make sure this is apex. Good. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is connect center front to apex with a straight line. So I'll square off my center front. Right there to there. There we go. And now from apex it will curve up into that intersection of armhole and side seam. I'll use my curved ruler. Connect those 2 points. Just a nice gentle curve going around. There we are. Right into there. And there we go. I've marked my center front and I've marked my bust line. All right, so let's go ahead and put that aside for a second. That's it. And we'll do our back. We'll start by marking our excuse me. We'll start by marking our dart tips in our back, and then bust line will be pretty easy. It's just a straight line. Pin all this for now. Okay, let's go ahead and mark our dart tips. Again, we're marking these on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, I've marked my dart tips on the wrong sides. Now I need to mark the bust line. That will line up with the bust line on this. So let's grab that. Okay, so that will sew to that side, and this will sew to this side. So I want to mark the bust line on this back. Okay, I have 2 notches. All right, I have this notch right here at intersection of armhole and side seam, and the one at center back. Let's go ahead and mark here at center back, and there's the one at armhole and side seam. And we can go ahead and just connect those two, and our bust line will be marked on the right side. There we go, there's our bust line. Okay, again, we don't need to mark center back. We're going to end up, there's a seam there, but we'll also end up stay stitching it because we're not going to sew our center back all the way up. We need to leave it open so we can get this on the form eventually. Alright, I'm going to put my patterns back with the pieces just so they stay nice and nothing gets lost. Put that aside. And let's fold up this. There we go. Alright, so there's our bodice pieces. Let's go ahead and do the sleeve now.